Hey everyone, welcome back to Destination Unknown. My name is George, and on this episode I'm going to tell you about when you're starting out in trucking, all the things that you need to know. Before I begin, I need you to do something really important for me. Hit the subscribe button. It really helps us when you do that. Recently, I had a friend of mine, I've known him for about 20 years. He moved to Vegas about a year ago to start afresh, and you know what, he wasn't finding what he wanted to do there, and he was asking me about trucking, asking a lot of questions about maybe, getting into it and what advice I would have for him. And it got me thinking because I've been doing this for about 5 years, almost 6 years now. And I remember when I started, it was not an easy thing to get into because trucking, if you already do it or you're in the process of it, you know it's very complicated, it's kind of stressful, and there's a lot of BS involved. So I thought I'd give you my, opinion, my advice. You can take it, you don't have to take it. Maybe it helps you, maybe it doesn't. So basically this video is going to be Trucking 101, and it's all about how to be successful in it. So the first thing is, do you really want to be in trucking? Because it's hard work. So what do I mean by that? Well, you're going to work long hours. You can work 11 hours driving and then up to 14 hours on duty. So what does that mean when I say on duty? That means sitting at a shipper, getting unloaded, waiting on paperwork, or all that BS that you can be going through. And so that's 14 hours you can be on duty. Now let's say worst case scenario, your truck breaks down or whatever. Well, guess what? Now you're waiting on a tow truck, and that could be 4 hours, 6 hours before you get a tow truck. I've even had friends who waited about 24 hours in the middle of nowhere in their truck for a tow truck. So do you want to put up with that? Because remember, in trucking, most people don't last more than a year. A lot of people don't. And then the other problem is in trucking, the turnover is 100%. 100%. So the company that you go to work for, you may not like it, you're going to quit within the first week, 2 weeks, 2 months, whatever. And so there's a lot of things to think about there, because it's a lot of BS you go through to get into trucking, and then you might be out of it as quick as you came in. So if you still want to do it, what I would suggest to you is, besides watching my YouTube channel, check out other YouTube channels, but also there's a good website that I used for reference, which was called The Truckers Report. They have a forum, and so they have a lot of people who ask a lot of questions about trucking, so you can go there, do your research. A lot of questions you have, you'll find it there, the answers for them. So check that out. Another thing I've been told is Facebook. There's a lot of Facebook trucking groups. You can get a lot of information from there. You can ask questions and all that kind of good stuff. What's really great now is that compared to like 5-6 years ago when I started, there's a lot more resources on the internet. So definitely use all of those. Now, after that, you're going to want to go with the trucking school, and you're pretty much going to hear how bad they are. And yeah, pretty much all of them are, they're not that good. They just kind of teach you the basics just so you pass your CDL test with the state, and then you're off to your company and good luck. So that's not a bad thing, because you know what, these schools, they get a lot of students, and it's just a CDL mill. It's good in some ways. And one of them is the fact that you can get your CDL really quickly. So within a month, you can have your CDL, you can be starting your job, which is pretty good, because you know what? Probably in the first year, you can make about $50,000. So if you have like financial problems or whatever, and you need a job quickly, trucking is really good for that. I live in the state of Illinois. So what's really great about that is that there's a lot of competition here for CDL schools, and a lot of them are dirt cheap. So the one I went to was $2,000. So if you guys live out of state and you have family here or whatever you can do, I would highly recommend it. Try to come here, because there's a lot of CDL schools that are cheap, because most other states they're like $5,000-$6,000 and stuff like that. Here, $2,000 in a month, boom, you're done. You get your CDL and you can be working and stuff like that. I had guys in my CDL school that lived in Tennessee, Minnesota and stuff like that, and they had relatives, so they stayed with the relatives while they went to CDL school here, and then within a month they were done and they were able to get a job. The reason I bring up these CDL schools, is because you want to try to, if you can, pay for it yourself. And why is that? The reason being is because if you go through one of these schools that the companies offer you, where they pay for it and everything like that, you have to work for them for about a year, and you're basically their slave, and they're going to pay you not that much money, and you're basically stuck at that school. And if you leave there within that year or whatever it is, you got to pay them the full amount of money. So that could be $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 or something like that, and that really sucks. Now, if think about it, if you only went to a CDL school that charged you $2,000, you paid out of your own pocket, you know, put on a credit card or whatever, most of these companies will pay you back. So like mine paid me back within a year. So I was able to get my money. And so here's the reason why I'm telling you if you can like do this, because if you don't like the company that you go with, you can quit. You're not obligated by a contract or anything to stay there with for a year. So like when I went with my company, you know what? If I didn't like it, I had an issue, which I'll tell you guys in another video, I quit. And I didn't have to, you know, worry about them coming after me for my CDL school and stuff like that. So that's one thing, because you have that freedom. So if you don't like the company you go with, you can quit and you can go to the next one or the next one. Because remember, in trucking, there's a 100% turnover rate. So you want to be able to, you want to be a free person, and you have the freedom to go anywhere you want. You're not obligated to any of these companies and stuff like that. Now, if you can't do that, money's tight, well, you know, that's okay, because these companies offer a, you know, program to get your CDL through them. So what they'll do is they'll send you to a school that they work with, maybe in your area, but a lot of the time it's like schools that they run in their company, like terminals. For example, like CR England or CRST, they have them near their corporate headquarters and stuff like that at their terminals. And those things, they put you up in a hotel, they give you like a weekly pay of like $200 or whatever it is, and then they teach you how to get your CDL and all that kind of stuff. So they, you know, you drive their truck and all that kind of stuff, and it's lasts about a month, and then you go get your CDL through them. And then what they do typically is send you back to your home state to transfer your CDL from that state that you got it in to your home state. Then you get your truck and you go out on the road with them and stuff like that. But remember, now you owe them $5,000, $6,000 or whatever it is, and you have to work there for a year. And a lot of these companies, you know, you may not like them, but you're stuck. So think about that. I've had friends who've done that. It's worked out for them. So you hear a lot of good and bad, but my advice, even if you have to go with them, just do it, man. Just get your CDL, because you gain that experience, you're paying your dues, and then you can go after a year or whatever to another company and you got your CDL. So that's my advice with all that kind of stuff. So now with the companies, so when you get into trucking, you have local, regional, and over the road. So a lot of people want to be local, but even when you're local, you're going to work long hours. So you can work, you know, 11, 12, 13, 14 hours a day and stuff like that. And in the beginning, a lot of those jobs are not the best. So for example, you could be doing like Dollar General or Family Dollar, going to those stores. So you basically go to those stores, you have multiple stops. You go to the first store, you unload the trailer and stuff like that, and then you go to the next store and unload. So it's good and bad, because, you know, I've had friends who've done it. They made good money and stuff like that. But you want to be a good backer, because I want you to take a look at where some of these stores are throughout the country. They're not in the most truck-friendly places. So imagine you got a sleeper truck and a 53-foot trailer, and you're trying to back into these places. It's a challenge, so you want to be a good driver. I used to, for my company, do road test, and some of the guys that I used to road test, they were doing Dollar General, and they hit like a building or hit a pole or whatever, and so they would bring them back to the terminal, and I would have to road test them again to see if they're, you know, they need more training. And some of these guys were good, you know, it was just an accident, but some of these other guys were new, and they just wanted to be local, wanted to be home every day or week or whatever, so they did Dollar General, but their skills wasn't at that level where they should be doing this. So if you want to be home every week, maybe think about regional, because you will be delivering to different places and stuff like that. You're not like unloading to stores. You might be going to DCs, which is distribution centers, which is easier to back into and stuff like that. So generally with that, you're home every like week for about 2 days or something like that. That's good, gains experience. You get to see a little bit of the country and stuff like that. Now, what my wife and I do, we do over the road. The reason we did that is because obviously we're a husband and wife, and we wanted to go see the country and stuff like that. And we love it, but it's not for everyone. Why? Because you're gone for several weeks at a time. Typically, 3 to 4 weeks you're gone or more. Because a lot of these companies, they want you to stay out a minimum of 3 weeks, and then you get a day off for every week you stay out. So if you're out for 3 weeks, you get one day for every week off. So that's 3 days, guys. 3 days you're home and you were gone for 3 weeks. So that's not a lot of home time. So if you're married and you got kids and stuff like that, you pretty much aren't gonna see them. But my wife and I, it's just us, so no big deal. So now you guys are in trucking, and I'm gonna give you the best advice that I can give you. And I'll share in another video my experience on how I discovered this. But listen up, because I'm gonna share this with you, and I need you to remember this when you get into trucking. And what is that I need you to know is when you go to these companies and you're doing reefer or dry van, I don't know anything else because I've never done tanker, flatbed, whatever. If you're doing reefer or dry van, here's the thing to remember, guys. The money is in dedicated accounts. So what does that mean when I say dedicated accounts? Well, earlier I told you Dollar General, Family Dollar. Yeah, those are one of them. But there are like tons of other dedicated accounts. For example, Walmart, Home Depot, Amazon, Procter & Gamble, and there's so many others. So basically what you do is, I'm going to use Walmart as an example. Now, I've never done this, my friends have done this, so I'm just going to kind of share with you their experience and stuff like that. So you go to like a Walmart distribution center and you pick up a trailer that's preloaded from there. And those things are big places. So they got like hundreds and hundreds of trailers. The docks are nice and big. It's all well organized. It's truck friendly. And then from there, you pick up your load and then you go to their stores and deliver and stuff. So that's what you do. And then once you deliver to all your stores, you go back to the distribution center and pick up more, and then you go back to the stores. So it's real easy compared to like when you're in trucking, like over the road, where they can send you anywhere and it's a lot of hard work. But when you're doing dedicated, the money is consistent, which is the number one reason you're in this, right? Because you want to make money. So number one, the money is consistent. The miles are consistent. You're not working hard. So you're working smart, and you're gonna make a lot of money, and you're not working that hard. And it's because in trucking, you can't have like 2 accidents or 2 tickets. You want to avoid any situation that will cost you your CDL. And working on a dedicated account, it reduces your risk. There's always risk there in this business because you're driving a big truck and trailer and stuff like that, but it reduces the risk, and you're not working that hard, man, because you're here for the money. Some of these other guys, they love the challenge of backing into tight spots and going into difficult places and stuff like that. But if you're like me, I think the majority of the people that are watching this are just here for the money. So where is that in? Dedicated accounts. So remember that. So when you get into trucking, ask your company, hey, you got anything dedicated? They'll tell you yes, Dollar General, Family Dollar. Okay, you know what? You're beginning. That's probably what they have. But every month, man, every 2 months, whatever, keep calling your company up and saying, hey, you got anything new? Anything? And like Walmart, talk to other drivers. Because a lot of the good accounts, these companies don't advertise it. Because there's always people who want it. A lot of the time, there's a waiting list for it. So you're not going to know about it. So talk to people. They'll tell you, and you'll be able to get on a good account. You'll make some good money and stuff like that. So this is my quick video about Trucking 101. Did I cover all your questions? If you have some, please let me know. I'll try to answer for you in a future video. So guys, I hope this helped. Please come at me with your questions, but remember, I need you to do something for me. Hit the subscribe button, give me a like, and then share this with your family and friends. So guys, stay tuned for more episodes. Thanks for watching Destination Unknown. Bye.